Bulwinakse, this is my lesson plan 4, EDU 652. Lesson plan 4, which is physics lesson plan 2. It's based on thermal energy. Name, it's on the subject is physics, A11 physics, strength 4 heat energy. Class duration will be 45 minutes. The substrate is temperature, and my topic of the day is the gas thermometer. My lesson preparation, a little bit surf on the net on heat energy and gas thermometer. I read through the textbook notes on heat energy and the gas thermometer. Tried to link my prior knowledge and new knowledge about gas thermometers. Gather teaching resources for teaching, and then I compiled the lesson notes from information gathered from the internet and the textbook. Those are my lesson objectives. My objectives: after completing these lessons, students should be able to define heat energy, differentiate between heat and temperature, discuss and explain the principle of the gas thermometer, and construct a simple gas thermometer and state its relevance to life. Those are my 4 objectives that I wish to achieve after this class. My teaching resources are whiteboard marker, whiteboard, the 11 physics textbook, online resources, and charts. For students, prior knowledge, students before coming into this class should have a basic understanding of heat energy, its forms and differences between temperature and heat. So what I expect from students, like by now they'll be in form 5, so just from watching maybe the TV or something, people know something of the topic before they come into the class. Then lesson development. My lesson development, first one, motivational activity. What should do the teacher's activity does. I will grade students and then brainstorm on the day's topic. My motivational activity is just mainly brainstorming. It's just like a piece of paper put on the whiteboard, and I expect them just to tell me what do they know of the topic on heat energy. Anything and everything they know about the heat energy, I'll just draw a cloud, and then that's it. Student activity. Students are to greet the teacher, give words. Students are to greet the teacher, give words that is relevant to the topic, and participate in the motivational activity, and also get ready for class. My content summary is what my motivational activity will be about. It's on the board. On the board, draw a cloud with the word of the day, heat energy, and then the students are to answer what do they think or what are their thoughts towards the topic, heat energy. Then I'll start with my introduction. In introduction, it's just simply the introduction of the topic. What I will do is just introduce the topic of the day, which is heat energy, and then I will discuss the lesson objectives. The main part of this introduction is to emphasize mainly on the lesson objectives and to get it out clearly to the students of what they expect to learn by the end of the day. What do I expect from the student? I expect the students to be attentive and listen carefully, ask questions if need be. If there's a question, they could ask it anytime. Then 3, explain. My content summary would be explain the lesson objectives and its importance and give a brief introduction on heat energy. The third, now we're up to phase 1. My phase 1 is what is mainly going to be teacher-centered. So whatever I will be doing, teacher-centered, focus is mainly on me delivering the lesson. So what will I do? I'll tell my students to bring out their computer books, their physics books, tell them about the new topic of the day. I'll tell them about the new topic of the day. tell them about the topic of the day, and then tell them of the day about heat energy, and then discuss the difference between energy between heat and temperature. I will tell them to discuss about difference between heat and temperature, explain what the gas thermometer is, and give a brief outline on its principle and constructions. That's all I do as a teacher. Mainly I'll be delivering the lesson. That's it. So, and then I will expect students to pay attention and listen carefully, write down notes if needed, and try to identify the main points of the lesson. Then I would expect them also at the same time while they're listening to digest. They have to be listening, not only listening but also be attentive and trying to be understanding when they're listening, not only just looking and being there, but they need to understand what I'm saying. So in my content summary, what I do is define heat energy, differentiate between heat and temperature, explain and discuss the principle of gas thermometer, and construct a simple gas thermometer, and to try to relate the lesson to reality. Phase 2, individual group activities. This is mainly student based or peer centered. It's going to be just between students among themselves and their cooperation and how they cope with each other, how they learn to interact amongst each other. What will I do? I would give students time to write notes and discuss and try to understand the lesson with peers or group members. I would allow them to ask questions among themselves and attempt the class activity given. It's mainly more student centered, so I would want them to try to, they have this language, understanding language. So I would expect them to discuss what's the latest lesson to help those students who are yet to learn and are still confused with their language of peer language, I'd say. Then that way they could help one another. Then what would I do? I would also just assist students with given questions and help those that need more help. Priority is mainly on those who need more help in understanding this concept. Then what do I expect my students to do? I expect them to complete the notes given, discuss the activity and lesson with peers, try to understand the lesson, and try to simplify the lesson to the slow learners for better understanding. This phase is mainly on them, just trying to help one another get there to try and understand the question. So my content summary is the class activity. My class activities states that number 1, state the advantages and disadvantages of using mercury as the liquid in gas thermometer. Number 2, state the advantages and disadvantages of using alcohol as the liquid in a gas thermometer. Number 3, state the characteristics of the liquid used in a liquid gas thermometer. Number 4, state and explain how the sensitivity of a liquid in a gas thermometer. And number 5, discuss the principle of a gas thermometer. All these questions are based on the day's topic and what they've learned, and they could get the answers from the lesson notes that will be given. Phase 3 is presentation activity. This is also based on students' understanding of the day's lesson. So what would I do? I would let the students in their groups are to answer the class activities given. I will allow them to discuss with the minimum noise level, and then my job is just to move around and assist those that need help. What do I expect students? I expect students to complete the task given with minimum noise level and to work cooperatively with group members, ask questions to the teacher or peers regarding the day's topic. My content summary of the day's lesson, what I'm trying to do is I would just want to test the understanding on this day's topic, gauge students' learning ability, compare whether the presentation relates to the day's topic and is from the given lessons or where else. Test whether students are able to present in class, if they are vocal, their shyness or grammar and understanding, and try to give them feedback on their presentation. My job is like to encourage them and not to belittle them if they are wrong. So I would just want to try and gauge where their understanding is based on the day's lesson. Step 3 is conclusion or the summary of the lesson. What I would do is summarize the day's lesson. I'd ask them a few questions on the day to gauge their understanding. What do I expect the students to do? Reflect on the day's topic. Check whether they have clearly understood or need a little recap later. And then my content summary is check whether the student objectives were met, ensure that students' notes are well written and they are ready for the next day's lesson. Then lastly, tidy up. 2 minutes will be given for this time. What I expect students to do is just clear up their desks for the next class, ensure that the class is prepared for the next class, and allow students to move back to their places, then tidy up with a minimum noise level. What students have to do is tidy the classroom and wait quietly for the next class, and they have to bring out their book for the next class before the teacher comes. My lesson content, summary content, ensure that notes are written and tidying of the classroom is done with a minimum noise level. Those are my assessment thing, self-evaluation, and then my lesson notes. My lesson notes, that is heat energy based on the internet, my research topic from there. Then the textbook notes, these are from the textbook. Highlighting the day's topic, principle of gas thermometer, and then the class activity is inside there, and that's my reference. That's all from my lesson plan 4, the last lesson plan 2, physics lesson plan 2 based on thermal energy. Thank you, sir. You take care and you have a blessed day.